Right now, your body is on autopilot. It's keeping your heart beating, your lungs breathing, and you're not even thinking about it. Pretty wild, right? So, how in the world does it all work? You know that feeling, right? Some loud noise makes you jump out of your skin, and bam, your heart is racing. Maybe your palms get a little sweaty. All of that happens way before your brain even has a chance to say, hey, it's cool, we're safe. What is going on there? Well, you can thank a very specific part of your nervous system for that. It's called the autonomic nervous system, and it is the absolute master of running things behind the scenes, the silent operator pulling all the levers. So let's give this powerful autopilot a proper introduction. We're going to really get to know it and figure out exactly what it is and what it does for you every single second. The autonomic nervous system, or ANS for short, has a massive job. Seriously, it's in charge of all the muscles you don't consciously control, like the ones in your stomach that are digesting your last meal, and of course, the most important one of all, your heart. It's the silent manager for your glands, your breathing, your blood pressure, all on its own. Now, the ANS isn't some lone wolf system. Nope. It's actually part of a much bigger, much more complex network. So to really get what our autopilot is doing, we need to zoom out and look at the body's entire command center. And here it is. Just look at that. This is your body's amazing command center. The nervous system is this vast, intricate web of wiring that lets you feel, react, and basically interact with the world. It's why you can feel the warmth of the sun or decide to move your arm. So we can split this huge network into two main parts. First, you've got the central nervous system, the CNS. Think of this as the headquarters. It's just the brain and the spinal cord. Everything else, all those nerves branching out to every corner of your body, that's the peripheral nervous system, or PNS. And our autopilot, the ANS, is a really crucial part of that peripheral team. And this brings us to a really fundamental split in how our bodies are controlled, the stuff we choose to do versus the stuff that just happens. Let's break down these two different control systems. First up is the somatic system. This is your voluntary control center. When you decide to kick a ball, wave to a friend, or just stand up straight, this is the system you're using. It sends the signals right to your skeletal muscles. Simple as that. You think it, you do it. And then you have the other side of the coin, our friend, the autonomic system. This is the involuntary one. You don't consciously decide to speed up your heart rate or tell your stomach to start digesting. The ANS handles all of that for you, making sure your internal organs are doing exactly what they need to do to keep you alive. So, this table lays it all out pretty clearly. You've got voluntary versus involuntary control. You've got skeletal muscles for movement versus your internal organs and glands. But pay close attention to that last row, neuron chain. One pathway versus two. That is a huge clue about how these systems are fundamentally wired differently. And don't worry, we're definitely coming back to that. But here's a fun twist. Our automatic system isn't just one single thing. It's actually a system built on this beautiful, balanced opposition. And the best way to think about it is like a car's gas pedal and its brake. You see, the ANS is split into two main teams with totally opposite goals. You've got the sympathetic division, that's your gas pedal. It ramps everything up for fight or flight. It's the reason your heart pounds when you're scared. Then you have the parasympathetic division, that's your brake pedal. It calms things down for rest and digest, handling all the quiet housekeeping jobs in the body. And if you look at an organ like the heart, you can see it's literally wired up to both systems. The sympathetic system is the gas, telling it to speed up. The parasympathetic is the brake, telling it to slow down. It's this constant push and pull that keeps your body in a state of perfect balance. The fancy word for that is homeostasis. Okay, so we've got a voluntary system and an automatic one. And the automatic one has a gas and a brake. But why are they wired so differently? Let's take a look under the hood at the actual circuits. Remember that table from a couple of minutes ago? We are diving right back into that crucial difference, the one neuron versus the two neuron pathway. It all comes down to a simple question. How many nerve cells does it take to get a command from your spinal cord out to its target? And wow, when you see them side by side, the difference is just huge. On the left, you've got the somatic system. It's like an express lane. One single direct neuron goes all the way from the spinal cord to the muscle. It's built for speed. But on the right, the autonomic system is totally different. It's not a direct line. It's a two-neuron relay chain. Let's just think of it as a relay race. The first neuron, we'll call it the preganglionic neuron, carries the message out of the spinal cord and hands off the baton at a sort of junction box. That little junction is called an autonomic ganglion. And then a second neuron, the postganglionic one, grabs the baton and carries it the rest of the way to the target organ.
Okay, time for a little bit of jargon. All these outgoing commands we've been talking about, whether they're voluntary or automatic, have a technical name. Any signal traveling away from the brain to make something happen is called an efferent signal.
And a super easy way to remember that is just to think of a one-way street. The traffic, the command signal, can only flow in one direction, away from the brain and out to the body. So think exit, efferent, it works.
So what's the big takeaway here? Why does all this matter? Well, it means that the next time you feel your heart racing because of stress, you actually know what's happening. Your body is hitting the gas pedal. It also gives you this whole new appreciation for the simple things, like breathing or digesting a meal. They're part of an incredible balancing act. Your autopilot is always on, constantly working to keep you stable.
You know, we've really only just scratched the surface of this incredible internal world. But knowing a little more about your body's autopilot really makes you think, doesn't it? Of all the automatic things your body does, maybe a sudden blush or getting goosebumps, what's the one reaction that you're now the most curious about?